So, the mental health benefits of nature. So there was a study in 2017 in Health and Place magazine which showed that regular visits to nature were almost as important a factor as marital status when it came to predicting emotional well-being. Obviously, there's, as with most data of this nature, there's kind of a chicken and egg argument to be had. Maybe people who are more emotionally well-rounded or happy are more likely to visit nature, but at the same time, this is just one piece of data out of many that suggests that being around nature is very, very important for your well-being. And given that in this survey it's almost as important as marital status, well, I guess I could tell you one or two things. One is that marriage is maybe not all it's cracked up to be, and a lot of people are not very happy in their marriages. But actually, I mean, being single or unmarried, you're more likely to have lower emotional well-being if you are single, just statistically speaking. So, or two, that nature can have almost as positive an effect. So if you're single and miserable and lonely, nature is still available. You can still go and visit beautiful places, and this can have as much of a, or almost as much of a positive effect on your well-being as being with somebody you love. There was another study in 2012 by the Journal of Affective Disorders. They took people with major depressive disorder and had them walk for 50 minutes in an urban environment or nature. Both groups experienced an increase in mood and memory, but the effect was more significant in those who spent time in nature. So it's not just the physical activity, but the nature itself. Another study showed that measured neural activity after 90-minute walks. So this isn't just self-reported symptoms. And they found that people who walked in nature had significantly decreased neural activity associated with negative emotion, and that was done in the proceedings of the National Academy of Science in 2015. And another study by Urban Forestry and Urban Greening showed that the amount of green space around your home is directly proportionate to your perceived mental health. And so, just living even like near a park, for example, can have a hugely positive effect on your mental health, well-being. It's difficult nowadays, obviously, but I kind of think one of the positives of the pandemic is it's going to change the way we live and alter kind of city life a bit. I think if you think about it, right, a lot of people are working from home now. There's all these office buildings that are not going to need to be used anymore. And I think a lot of those are going to be turned into apartment buildings. And I think for a while there might be a little bit more space. It's very efficient if you think about it. Everybody's taking their office and just turning their home into an office. So we don't need, we need half the amount of space now. Everybody who's working from home, they need effectively half, or maybe even less than that, half the amount of space that they needed previously, which is kind of crazy because most people work in, office type jobs in cities. So it'd be interesting to see. And I think in general, regardless of overpopulation, there needs to be more initiatives to create more green space around people's homes and stuff, because it's fucking horrible living in a city when you don't have anything near you. I know a woman who lives in Russia and she has a dog, and she has to get the train to go to the park. The train. Imagine getting the train to go to a park. It's fucking sad. It made me sad to hear it. She's got a dog as well, a beautiful Chow Chow, and she has to take him on the train to go to the park. And when she walks him normally, because she doesn't normally do that, when she walks him normally, she walks him for an hour around the city. It's fucking depressing, man. It's fucking important to be around trees, the sea, grass, fucking anything, really. I think it's strangely powerful. I don't know exactly why. I sometimes think there's something about there's a kind of there's like a kind of I don't know, I can't think of the right word to describe it, but we all have all this ego stuff and we think we're the center of the universe and all of this, and then trees, for example, they just fucking exist. Like, and you see them and they're kind of imposing, but without doing anything, you know, they're completely still, and they exist completely independently of your feelings and they have no reaction to you, and they're very much valid, you know, but they're not, I don't know. There's something strange about seeing things that just exist completely independently, and that would exist if you weren't here, and that will exist when you're not here. I think there's something very powerful about that. It's kind of humbling. So I guess it's humbling to be around nature. I find the same thing with extreme weather. It's very humbling. It takes you away from all your kind of egoic thoughts and kind of self-obsession, and it's nice, you know. It's just something about it is nice. It's nice to be around something so much larger than yourself. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you live somewhere where you have no access to nature, maybe consider, you know, changing that in the future if possible. At the very least, you can take trips, you know. But yeah, the studies are all. They're not taken from it. I didn't do the studies personally, but I compiled them in this book, and that's where I'm reading them from. So if you liked this video, check out this book. There's a bunch of similar stuff in there, a lot of similar information. It's available in paperback and ebook format on Amazon. There'll be a link in the description, and it's also available free if it's not available to you or you can't afford it. Message me, BigDome22 on Instagram. You have to follow me as well, of course. I'm not going to be giving out free books to people who won't even follow me on Instagram, and I'll send you a free copy. Take care.